Hello, everybody. We are here for a new episode of Riverdale here at AfterBuzz TV. We are going to be breaking down so much about this episode, and thank God it was better than the last week. We cannot wait to talk about it, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for tuning back into our Riverdale show here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down Season 3, Episode 19, titled The Reaper. I like this one a lot better than the last one, my personal opinion. We're missing our cohorts tonight, Elena and Frank. But, of course, we have myself, Sam Davidson, and Zack here. How are you, friend?
Hi, I'm great. Excited to be here, even though I'm missing the other two.
Yes, we miss them very much. We are going to be talking about...
But they're on a quest.
They are.
A G&G quest.
We're not supposed to talk about it. So if you could stop.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah. You don't want the gargoyle to get you.
Elena's in a freezer right now.
She'll be fine. We're going to be talking all about the farm, the sister wives situation, Jughead family drama, and of course some Betty drama. She's always getting herself into trouble, but she's always right. Or is she? We don't know. Zack, what were your thoughts about tonight's episode?
I mean, it couldn't get worse after last week.
So I felt some guilt about all of the crap I gave the episode last week, but I still kind of stand by it.
I stand by it wholeheartedly. It was not a great episode, and we need to hold the writers accountable so they can give us some good episodes next season. But this episode was a lot better. There was a lot more action. I mean, a lot of it was like very random, like the fighting that we had with Gladys and Penny. I was like, what is happening? It was like, I was like, why are we doing like, where did this fight scene like fit into anything? Luke Perry's episode, his last appearance, I felt was a little anticlimactic, but I mean, I guess you can't like plan somebody to like not be on the show anymore. So I kind of understand that. But I just wish we would have had like a more heartfelt moment with him or just something. But that's, me reaching for straws with that one.
I do think last week you said something as though the scene with Fred seemed as though it was kind of cut in a weird way. And so I do think that they might have had a bigger plan for his character since he was so underutilized this season. But
I think they did, and that's why, and they had to cut them all out to only feature him here and there, like popping in here and there, because normally he is a much bigger part of the role, or normally you see him giving Archie like more pep talks, which we really haven't seen since we found out about his passing. Like he's barely been in it at all, except for like a one-liner here or there. So I think they were prepping him for something bigger that now they have to unfortunately cut out of the show.
What if he was the Gargoyle King and they're like,
oh my God, could you imagine?
I know, and they're like, oh God.
Well, I mean, they could still do that. They can be like, the Gargoyle King was defeated.
That would be
really
so
sad.
Messed up.
It would be really bad.
I doubt it, but I would have liked to have seen him been maybe more involved in it, because you always expect the quiet ones. First off, let's start with Archie and Randy. So Randy died. Sad. I was like, who the heck is frickin' Randy? And why are we supposed to care? And then as they talked about it, I remembered last week's episode, which I tried to forget, that Archie, killed him. I mean, I didn't realize he killed him. Did you? Last week?
I mean, his heart stopped.
Okay, yeah. I suppose so. But, I mean, Archie was mauled by a bear.
Yeah. You can come back from worse things in Riverdale.
Yeah. Really didn't think he was actually dead, or did I care?
Yeah,
I didn't care.
I think that's the thing, is I didn't care if he actually died. I was like, okay, let's see what they do with this. But I wasn't actually invested in him because we didn't see much of him.
The thing is, they have so many characters to work with. This is an ensemble cast, and we don't want to see any of our characters change the way they're originally written. That said, they already are. Like, they've completely messed with all of the characters, so we need it to be someone we know, that we care about.
We can't let it be like a random...
Yeah, I don't freaking care about Randy, nor do I care about what's his name, which we'll get into in a little bit. The guy with Jughead. I can't even remember his name. Kurtz. Don't care about him either.
No, I'm glad he died too.
So, as far as Randy's concerned, I do care about his family. It's very sad. I mean...
But that was the thing. It was like, we didn't really know about him. We didn't get emotionally invested in him to give his family so much airtime. Or were these Luke Perry scenes that we had to fill with something else?
Exactly. So Archie thinks that he is responsible for this dude's death. He's not.
No.
It's Elio and then we find out later,
This
it's
is
somebody else.
Archie being a ding dong all over again.
But he's a good ding dong,
I mean,
Good-hearted ding
his
dong.
heart is in the right place, but sometimes he just like needs to use his brain,
I don't know how big of he has a bigger heart than he has a brain.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
No.
I was like, we haven't seen that much of Archie.
But maybe that too. Who knows? I think his brain might be quite small, but he has a good heart. So
he does.
Fred tries to give him advice, which really was that the last scene we actually see Fred is him giving Archie advice, telling him it's not your fault.
And it was barely even good advice.
Yeah, and it's just
Like an Instagram meme could have done more for Archie than Frank did. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would have liked like a real Fred scene in this last episode, being that this is Luke Perry's last appearance. But again, we couldn't have predicted what was going to happen or like prepared this.
Oh man, it's extremely sad.
So we just give all the older characters really good lines in case they go at any point in the show.
Or any of them.
FP?
No, stop. Okay, so basically, Mad Dog and Archie very quickly get arrested. Mm-hmm. And I literally had to pause and say to Zack, what are they even arrested for? I'm so confused. What's happening?
I didn't understand why they were arrested either, because, I mean, I understand they were running from the cops that barged in, but it also just felt like they had no grounds to arrest them. Like, it's not like they found anything on them. It's not like they were looking for them. Like, they just happened to be running from them, but it's like, oh, let me catch you and figure out what's going on here. But they just, like, immediately handcuffed them and threw them in jail.
Yeah.
And then we really never got context as to why they were actually thrown in jail, whether it was the drugs that they had on them or what it was. But, like,
they were going around to chase the drugs, I think, essentially. Like, got to clear the drugs out of there. And then they didn't. And they go to jail. Veronica bails them out. And then she takes him to Pops. Does she give... Well, okay, so Mad Dog didn't take any drugs, correct? Why did she give them those drinks? Did they take drugs? Because she's like, drink up. And then she said...
So that they could pee. So they could pee, and then they did the urine test, and then that's when she had screened for...
But when did they take... I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm forgetting something, but when did they take drugs?
Right after... Oh, no. They never took drugs. That's why she had them drink the water, so that the drug test would prove that they don't have drugs in their system.
But why would they have to drink the water if they didn't take drugs in the first place?
To prove for the press. She wanted to cause a big scene in the press, the same way Elio was going to the press and talking about how Archie's the one that killed him and accused Archie of using the drugs. She decided to have them pee on the spot and have a clean drug test so that they can then pitch that to the press and be like, no, these guys don't take drugs. You can't associate them with what happened to Randy, who died of a drug overdose.
I really am now a very big fan of Varchie because, well, we haven't seen a lot of Betty and Archie recently, since the pilot episode, but he needs a smart lady that is going to get him out of the stupid crap that he gets himself into. So I'm totally down for it.
I'm down for it too. I like them together. I like them better than Betty and Archie. I like I like Betty and Jughead, and I like Archie and Veronica, and I like that we finally got to see them come back and have a little spark again, because now that we know Josie's leaving, I'm all for it.
Well, before we get on to our next topic, which is really going to be crazy and juicy, we, of course, have some stuff at AfterBuzz that Zack would love to tell you about.
Yes, we love you guys, and we love when you join in the conversation, so be sure to subscribe to one or more of our channels. This is the drama channel, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, and you can catch Sam and I on other channels here. I know I'm on the reality channel. What other channels are you on, Sam?
Sci-Fi Supernatural channel, always.
There you go. Subscribe to all three of those channels so that you can continue to help AfterBuzz grow. Be sure to weigh in on the comments, because we love when you weigh in and talk about what you liked from this episode or what you didn't like that we said. I read some of your comments and they're a little shady, but it's okay because I still support them. So hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening on iTunes right now, hi iTunes listeners, I'm getting a little closer just for you. Leave us a 5-star review and don't forget to subscribe there as well. And until next time, thank you for helping us continue to be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Yes, we love our TV talk. not a fan of Elio. Is that what we're calling him? Forever, I was like, that hot man that I don't like.
See, but then he got hotter when we saw him towards the end of the episode when he was like in a steam room, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know Elio was packing that kind of heat.
I did. I mean, jeez, like, he's a tall glass of water.
I mean, yeah, and I was thirsty.
Well, first of all, Archie obviously gets this money from Elio, which I looked down for 1 second. Next thing you know, Archie has him thrown against the car. And that is the hottest thing I've ever seen Archie do. Ever.
I agree. I like Archie when he's a little rough.
Yes, me too. He has a lot of brawn. It might not have brains, but he has brawn. Not in a, I don't like him in the boxing situation. No, thank you. I've never been a fan of the Rocky movies. I just think it's so stupid. The whole fighting hobby that people have, it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. I mean, I guess it was written into the season to, like, have him find a way to get his aggression out. But, like, for the most part, like, I'm not really here for it.
I mean, a lot of times you can get that out through sex.
I mean, that would have been a more appropriate CW fit.
Yes. But Archie gets the money that he was supposed to win from the fight where he accidentally killed that dude that we didn't really care about. And he gives it to the family. And then he raised some money with Veronica and Josie, which we'll get into next. But the woman goes from hating him to loving him very quickly.
So quickly, so like she was like slapping him 2 scenes ago, and now all of a sudden she has him in her home at her dinner table, like crying and thanking him for what, 50 grand? I mean, 50 grand is a nice gesture on top of whatever else they fundraised with Veronica. But
it's like $5,300 or $50,300 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, but like, what? Like, how are you that forgiving? Like, you just lost your brother. I mean, I guess money can buy you forgiveness.
I suppose. And then she starts going, my brother was a drug addict. I tried. And it's like, apologize for publicly slapping him. And okay, whatever. I honestly don't care.
Well, especially like if your brother was a drug addict, then like, obviously you can't really blame somebody else for providing him the drugs if he already had that habit. It's like, you can't expect them to know that he had a drug problem, or maybe they did. Like, but like if your brother, like, I don't know. I just think...
Yeah,
that's something that could have been monitored a little better if she knew he had that history that she could have helped him with, or something that he should have been aware of. Like, I just feel like there was a missed mark with that.
Well, it's not as though Archie just attacked him on the street.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Yeah.
He was in a boxing match with him, which is his own... He could have been killed by anybody. So, again, whatever. Sorry, R.I.P. Randy, and I'm happy his family got some money. On to the next. Okay, so I want to cut, because we're just going to talk about Elio. Am I saying it wrong? Elio. We see the end of the episode, him and Hiram are having a naked sauna chat. Which was, Zack and I both looked at each other and we were like, oh,
wow.
Okay. Cheers to that. Claps for that. I mean, we find out, which isn't a huge surprise, they're in cahoots, Hiram and Elio.
I mean, yeah, I'm not really surprised by anything Hiram does. I mean, it was nice to know that he was fully aware. Again, not surprised, but it was nice to know that he was fully aware of Archie being in the hospital to kill him a few episodes ago.
We hated Hiram. Everyone has changed. Like, I get really pissed off because we all were like, Hiram needs to die. Hiram needs to die. All of a sudden, he almost dies and Veronica's all sad. And then we're like, no, bring him back. Did everyone forget in that time he was in the hospital what he had done?
Yeah.
He literally put a bounty hunt, or whatever you call it, on a freaking teenager that was dating his girlfriend for no reason.
I think what it is they saw him like on his deathbed. And so at that point they like had mercy and sympathy for like him nearly dying. But it's like, you're right, Sam, you can't forget all of the crap that he's done to everybody else for the past like 2 or 3 seasons now. Or, yeah. Well, there have only been 3 seasons, so the past 2 seasons.
But he does, and, he basically says, there's 2 sides of Archie. There's one that's this nice kid, but the real Archie is the Riverdale Reaper. And he wants to kill him. And now it seems like Veronica and... Jughead, or not Jughead, Veronica and Archie are probably going to be getting back together soon because Josie and Archie,
Done.
good riddance.
I mean, they were never a great fit. They never had any chemistry. Like, the fact that they even dragged it out this long was kind of... I mean, they just needed somebody to fill Archie's bunker until, we brought Veronica back into the picture.
Exactly. And we also have to set Josie up for her spinoff, Katie Keene.
Mm-hmm.
Which was very, very obvious. So she has this whole storyline with her dad that we, again, don't really care about, but set up for the spinoff, which will be coming out sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the fall or the spring. I'm not quite sure. But essentially they do that performance, and her and Veronica had some awkward moments. Or were they awkward? I wanted them to be more awkward.
I mean, they were a little awkward.
I just feel like they weren't addressing the big freaking elephant in the room. Archie just kisses Josie in front of Veronica. I wanted to see more of that. Like, ooh, that's messed up. I'm a little bit pissed, but you're also my friend and I want to help you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to play it off as like they're in two completely different happy relationships now, but like not addressing that in a real high school there would be some type of tension when the ex-girlfriend and the current girlfriend are like sitting across from each other and the hunk of meat is right in the middle, and there's like not even an acknowledgement of...
Archie is just so stupid that it's like he kisses Josie and doesn't even... I don't think he does it on purpose to upset Veronica at all.
But doesn't even consider...
No, but he just does like Jesus.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to like play it off as like they've moved on. This is done. They're not together anymore. But like, or what they should have done is done like a close-up scene of Veronica like feeling like a little disappointed or like having a reaction to them kissing, so that they can set up that like Veronica still has feelings for Archie. This is something that's going to be explored in future episodes.
Exactly. Well, Josie, I don't know if we'll see her on this series again. Regardless, we will see her soon on another CW show. And honestly, this was my least favorite song she's ever performed. I loved that song, and I thought it was kind of anticlimactic, and she was just singing the words. The lights were cool. I don't know. I think I disagree. I think this was one of my favorite performances by Josie. Really?
Whereas normally I'm not into her. I mean, maybe it's just that I like this song better than her other choices. And I just hated all of her performances, but at least I like the song.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't my favorite. Next, let's talk about Jughead and his really messed up family. Jughead is really, though... He's great this episode, and he's trying to save everybody. So Jellybean has been taken. There's a ransom note been taken by the gargoyles, and again, like I said earlier, there's this guy Kurtz that like I do not care less about. I just at least the Hal reveal last year was interesting. Please, this I mean, I know we have seen him before be weird. And Gladys doesn't seem as behind things as I figured she was.
Yeah, I thought she had her hand a little more in it, or at least she let off to lead you to believe that she was a little more in control of things. Whereas like when Hiram was in charge, he had his hand in all the pots. He was really kind of running the town, and Gladys, who has taken him down and replaced him, like you would just think she would have been a little more prepared for what came her way and wouldn't be at the mercy of the Gargoyle King, because Hiram would never be at the mercy of the Gargoyle King.
But Hiram is a bad person, and
Hiram
maybe
is a bad person.
Gladys is not a bad person. She just does what she needs to do to survive.
I mean, that's fair.
And so, we see her. At first, I really thought that Jellybean and Gladys are just pulling one over on the boys. We still don't know that that's not true, but I don't think it's necessarily true anymore.
No, I mean, especially, like, not after that fighting scene that she had with Penny, and, like, it was just...
Again, okay, Penny Peabody, somebody I don't freaking care to see again.
No, the Cyclops, like, I was like, what is happening?
She's going to show, it's like she might as well have had a peg leg just, like, going, like, Penny is at one point just going to be a floating head on the show, like in Santa Clarita Diet. And it's like, I don't know how she shows up, but she's here. She's got all of her body parts cut off. And she's never pulled at our heartstrings. We never liked her. So, again, guys.
She's not even like a likable villain. Like Hiram is a likable villain.
Yes.
There are some people that you don't like that, you can still appreciate them for their character. or for who they play on the show. Whereas like Penny is just like, why? Like, kill her already. Like she's died how many times and she still keeps coming back to life.
It's just they stab her all over her body. I do have to give a shout out to the chat who a lot of people do like Penny. So,
really?
You know, me and Zack are just two people. So I guess there's people that like Penny. And even on another show that actress was on, True Blood, still did not like her. I'm sure she's so cool in person, plays the annoying villain. Not a fan. I wish Gladys would have like stabbed her in like
and finished her off.
Yeah.
Once and for good.
Yes. Like don't stab her on the leg. She's been stabbed in the leg 10 million times.
Well, Jughead did stop her from killing her.
Yes.
But I don't know if she would have truly went through with it. Like the fact that she had the opportunity to kill Penny last time when she, you know, had attacked Jughead, and she didn't, leads me to believe that I don't know if Gladys is capable of actually going through with it.
I don't know. I guess she seemed a lot harder than she really was. That's what I learned this episode about Gladys. Which she's kind of, I don't want to say soft, but I mean, Jellybean really is her end all. Be all. She has raised her whole life. However, she does hand her over to FP. Oh, I'm sorry. Pause. Before we get there, I cannot forget about the Pops robbery. Wow.
That was rough.
Hot mess. Express.
And I didn't fully understand why they couldn't walk into Pops and be like, we need to fake this robbery right now. Play along. Like, I think like everybody would have kind of caught on and like, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. I felt like they could have easily walked in, held the gun up at Pop. Is that his name?
Pops, yeah.
Pop owns Pops.
I think his name is just Pops. I don't know if it's Pop singular ever. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either.
Let us know. And I know this won't happen either, but someone to be a bad guy out of the blue, give us Pops. We've known Pops since the first episode. That will shock us.
What if he's the Gargoyle King?
I don't think they'll do that because, yeah, I just don't think they're going to do that.
I think that would be a fun twist.
Me too.
Pops is the Gargoyle King.
I agree. But, you know, we don't see the gargoyles drinking milkshakes, and I just feel like we would. I have a little hint.
I'm over the gargoyles. I feel like at this point we need to find out who the Gargoyle King is so that we can just move on from this and, like, I don't know.
Sorry, Pop Tate. It's not Pops, it's Pop Tate. Pop Tate is his name.
Tate.
And maybe this is his game. You never know.
I think Pop Tate is the Gargoyle King, and I'm saying it now. You can play this clip back when I'm right.
Okay, or when you're wrong. I'm going to still play it back. So Gladys goes in the hospital, this whole thing. She says her goodbye to Jellybean, who's totally fine. Ends up
unfazed.
But Jughead is locked in like
a freezer.
An ice tomb, a freezer. And does he make it up? No.
He kicks it open.
Yes, he kicks it open. He's got this. He reminds me of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Batman movie. I actually randomly told you that once. I said to you, you remind me of, I forget what his name was, the Freeze, whatever. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Batman Returns, I believe it was.
Yes.
But yes, here we are again. It's a running theme.
Yeah.
I really love it. So Gladys leaves with a really silly broken arm. Sorry.
I mean, I also thought that whole Gladys is the drug lord and now has to leave. Like, I thought that was so brushed over that, like, that could have been such a bigger moment because we were like, we can't tell FP. FP cannot find out about this. Like, he's going to lose it. And then he finds out he's over it in 2 seconds. They save Jellybean and then Gladys is leaving.
She will be back. She will be back either. We'll talk about her predictions. But, so, okay, Betty. Something that I really, I kind of like this part because it surprised me. There was a lot of things that surprised me.
Oh, the twist with Tony.
Yes, the twist with Tony and then this whole nightmare feeling. Like you're in a nightmare and everyone you know is in the dream. And they're like chasing after you. That's actually what happened. So, well, let's first talk about Hal. Hal is in jail, prison, as we know, and Betty has him meeting with Hiram and Veronica. Interesting trio. They could probably, like, run this world, the three of them.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Dark
they
Betty.
seem to be running Riverdale pretty well.
So she asks that her dad get moved to the nice prison with a view.
I mean, I feel like when you murder half the town, you probably don't deserve that, even if you are a friend of a friend. But I think, I don't know, I feel like that whole setup, it was set up.
It's just really annoying because they do not know which parent we're supposed to trust. Even the writers don't. It's Alice. It's Hal. How can it be Hal? He killed but did he? I never really thought he did, but then I did, and now I'm not sure. I guess that's what they want us to think. Anywho, he gets transferred, apparently, quote unquote, dies. Whatever.
Nope, I don't buy it. He is alive. He snuck out. He set this all up.
Yes, maybe.
And this was all his intention. He knew how to manipulate Betty into getting this transfer happening. And now...
Let's talk about the baby transfer. So there's twins, and we have Penelope. He tells her that Penelope is the one person that will help her. And she's like, Auntie, let's go get babies. And so then they go and grab the boy, and she thinks it's mini Jason.
Yeah.
Leave the girl. And then Tony and Betty go back to get the girl. And I'm not going to call them Juniper and Dagwood because it's ridiculous.
Those are awful names.
I don't even know which one is which.
I don't either.
I'm assuming Juniper is the girl, but I mean, it's just quite odd. So they go back to get Juniper and Dagwood. Tony, I think, is the most level-headed person on the show, or I did.
I did too. I really thought she was trying to help Betty. Like, I don't understand. Like, I want to know what is hooking everybody into the farm. Like, at this point, I'm ready to join the farm myself because it's like everyone's just like signing their life away to the farm and everyone's like sneaking in and they're like, yeah, Betty, I'm going to work with you and we're going to get through this. And then it's like, nope, this is my family now.
I mean, okay, I said this to you, Zach, and this is a really big thing for me to say. I've seen a lot of TV shows and movies where at the end they wake up and they say, it was all a dream. And I get really freaking angry because they wasted my time. This is the only movie that I would be quite content at the end of the season if they just wanted to pretend it never happened. And Betty just wakes up from a bad dream.
Yeah, it was a bad trip on Fizzle Rocks and we woke up and now we're back in reality.
Yes, and we're going to stop Archie from being mauled by that bear, and then we can start from there, maybe. Mm-hmm. Perhaps, maybe earlier. I'm not sure. But she gets lured in to get the girl baby, and Tony, all of a sudden, just drags her into the cult room. Mm-hmm. And
Everyone's
down.
waiting for her, yeah, and we find out she's a farmie now.
She's a farmie, and not everyone, they don't have Archie.
They don't have Archie. I'm surprised that they haven't even tried to get Archie or Veronica. Like,
because
they haven't
they're important.
They're important. Like, they would be really good. Or Jughead. Like,
exactly.
There are so many main characters that, I mean, I think we're just getting all like the sidekicks, all the little side characters that, maybe aren't as important or influential, and they're just trying to get numbers more than they're trying to get the heads of these groups. Because I think it would be a much smarter strategy if they got one of those main ones in, and then they would easily be able to convince all the others, like all the Kevins and the Tonys, like would fall in line.
Exactly. But let's not forget about Evelyn, who has been doing her junior year for like a really long time.
10 years.
10 years. So she's about 26, and she's actually Edgar's wife. Alice is about to be Edgar's wife, and he's about to adopt her freaking grandchildren. So I'm assuming this is weird. Like a polygamy, sister wives, culty. I mean, which, it's cults. Charles Manson had a bunch of women.
Like, I don't understand what his end game is. Like, and I guess that's the intention, is like, we're never supposed to know what Edgar Never is up to. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so stupid at this point to keep dragging. Like, give me the meat about the farm. Like, I like that we finally have gotten to know that like the Evelyn really isn't just a farmie that's like really into her dad. Like, she's actually like physically into her dad because she's married to him, and like there's a deeper story here.
But he's not really her dad. I hope.
No, he's not. I hope not either.
No
that
way.
would be really twisted.
He's not.
But could he be?
Let's really,
I think he could be.
For God's sake, no. No, I really hope not.
I think it could be. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, what wife is going to be like, I'm your daughter now? And, like, play that role. Like, that's just twisted.
I don't know.
I mean, not more twisted than actually being his daughter, I guess.
I just really want Edgar, I wanted him to almost give the audience a piece of what he's giving these characters. So we get a taste and understand. As much as I
And
love
maybe
Chad Michael
subscribe
Murray.
to the farm, too.
Seriously, I mean, I've been watching him since I was a teenager. I love him. I am not enticed by this entire situation. So they try to get Betty. She runs like hell, thank God. But I mean, Betty will soon be with the farm. I do think we'll probably get there. Sorry, I hate to say it. Well, that wraps it up for what we have to talk about as far as plot is concerned in tonight's episode, but we have some more stuff for you. Next, we have our special segment, which is Class Clown and Class President. Zach, would you like to go first?
Yes, I think my class clown is going to go to Tony. At first, I was going to give her my class president because I thought, like, ooh, she's helping Betty, like, actually get the baby back, and, like, the twins are going to be united and saved from the farm. And then only to find out she's a farmie now, and, like, that's disappointing because I actually thought she was going to help Betty with this and not just subscribe to that vibe. So she definitely gets my class clown, and then my class president goes, I guess it'll go to Archie this week. Archie is my class president because he really stood up for, what was the dead guy's name? See, I already forgot his name. Randy. He stood up.
R.I.P. Randy.
R.I.P. Randy. Archie didn't mean to kill you.
He didn't.
Got the money from Elio. He gave it to the family. Like, he tried to, you know, pay atonement, even though he didn't do anything wrong, but he felt like he should be responsible to make up for, you know, what Elio did. So, you go, Archie.
Class clown. Again, for me, Alice, you were supposed to be better than this. You misled us. You know, you randomly are good, you're bad. I don't care what you are, but you deserve to just not be, I loved Alice's character. Now I just really, and she's in the Hiram category. She's close to the Hiram category for me.
See, I thought, like, for me, when it comes to Alice, it's like, okay, I thought, all right, she's a hurting, grieving mother who, you know, just happened to get caught up in all of this. But, like, now that we find out tonight that she knows that Edgar Evernever is married to Evelyn, who's pretending to be his daughter so that they can recruit people, the fact that she knows this and is okay with this and still going to marry him, it's like, now I don't like you, and I really think you are a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, agreed. Okay, my class president. I think it's a Dagwood. The baby. I think that's the boy baby. He gets out.
He makes it out.
Except he's really what's the place that Cheryl used to live? What's the house called where her mother lives? Penelope.
The Maple Farm.
I know. I forget. Guys, let us know in the chat because there's a name for their whole manor. But yes, I'm gonna give it to Dagwood. Way to get the heck out of there. Seriously.
He made it out alive.
Yes, and also, you know, Betty.
But I think he will end up back at the farm.
Poor...
Somehow. Edgar's too smart to let it just get away.
Who is Edgar?
There's a plan. He's gonna get the baby and he's gonna get the mom.
Well, Thornhill. Sorry, Thornhill.
Thornhill Manor.
Yeah, let's get Dagwood out of Thornhill and maybe somewhere
Thornhill's
better.
going to end up owned by the farm soon. Calling it right now. That is my prediction.
Yes. Well, I never trust Penelope. But on that note, we have some news next for you guys.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, for those that didn't know, this sadly really was officially the last episode that Luke Perry ever shot. And I don't know, what do you feel about the way his last episode?
It was a little anticlimactic, but again, you know, you can't really predict these things. You never know when, you know, somebody's going to tragically pass away. So I think it's unfortunate that we didn't have a stronger scene with him. But, I mean, it wasn't terrible. We still got, you know, his daddy words of wisdom.
Yeah. How do you think he will be written out?
I think it's going to be done over the break. I think we're going to come back next season and they're going to be like, oh my God, something tragic happened. Maybe he was with the the transfer. Somehow he was caught up in the transfer, and that tragedy ended up taking him out too. But I don't think that's going to happen because that's too soon in this season to like write him out.
We have 3 episodes left.
But I think that would be smart of them to have him, being that there was some big accident that killed everybody. Like if he somehow was caught up in that accident and that's how we lose him, then I think that would be something.
Agreed. I also have a fun article I wanted to share with you guys. It's on Pop Sugar, my good friend Kyle Thomas, who's a celebrity astrologer. I helped him write this article greatly. He is my neighbor, so we needed the Riverdale insight, and it was which Riverdale character are you via your astrology sign.
Oh.
So what's your astrological sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh, of course. Oh, I keep
Who am I?
meaning Geminis. All right, you're Reggie.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
2 sides to his personality, Reggie can pretend to be tough, but ultimately just wants to feel validated. He's pretty easy to get along with too, flexible and usually up for what others decide, but he likes to go with the flow, much like the adaptable and speedy Gemini. He said, I feel like you're a little bit like tougher than that. I do.
Who would you think I'm more like?
Like Cheryl.
She's
She's an Aries. You probably have like an Aries rising sign or something like that. Me as a Libra, I'm Veronica. So I'm really down with that.
You've got Veronica vibes.
Thank you. I've always wanted Veronica vibes. It's the best compliment ever. Well, I will tweet this article out, and then you guys have to tweet us. Let us know which sign are you. Who do you pair with best? Because there's a lot of really interesting stuff, and I helped write it because I am a Riverdale connoisseur, whether I like it or not. All right, let's get into some predictions for next week.
Prediction.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Prediction.
What do we got?
I think that Penelope is going to end up a farmie. I think that Edgar had a bigger plan with giving her the baby. I think that he is going to swoop them both into the farm. Again, I think the manor is going to end up being Edgar's. He is not done yet, and he has a few more recruits to make. I don't think Archie or Veronica or Jughead are ever going to be caught up in the farm business unless they have to come and save Betty for whatever reason, but I don't think she's going to be caught up in it. But I hope that there is a takedown of the farm very, very soon. And I wouldn't be surprised, not that this is exactly my prediction, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kill off Luke Perry's character in the accident that we heard about tonight with the escapees.
I don't know how they're going to handle this because I think however Luke Perry or Fred ends up not being a character on the show, it's going to be it needs to be taken seriously, but also not something that is going to harm Luke Perry's memory.
Yeah, I also retract that comment because if that were the case, we would have seen it in the previews next week.
I just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, he's going to stick around for a minute, and I think we'll find out when we jump back.
So we saw for scenes from next week, Molly Ringwald will be back, and I don't know why she wasn't ever really a series regular if you're going to have a name.
Budget.
But then why not just hire another actress that isn't as famous as Molly Ringwald to be Archie's mom? She will be back, and I suppose, I don't know. Unfortunately, they will have the budget now.
Yeah, they have the budget now.
So I think they brought her back right away when Luke Perry died. Mm-hmm. And prom, I think, is soon. Next week, we're going to see some prom-y stuff, kisses, unsuspecting things. And I also think that Tony is maybe going to be like, sorry, Betty, I just couldn't clue you into my plan. I just have higher hopes.
I do too. I really hope that Tony has a bigger plan and she's not a farmie.
I agree. And I just want to see, I think we might see some dead characters, at least as far as what these people are seeing through the farm. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll see Jason come back, even if he's just like a vision of some sort.
Or I think that would be cool.
Very cool. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. And where can everyone find you on social media, Zach?
I'm Zach Peter, and you guys can find me at Just Plain Zach all over the internet.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you rate, review, subscribe, tweet us, comment. We will always get back to you. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.